Trump and Doge are beginning to hit home.
Elon Musk has basically taken over our government and has calling the shots, unfortunately, it seems to be.
Yeah. All right. I haven't seen this one yet, so let's react to it. It says, 3-time Trump voter fired from her civil service job. Quote, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this admin in office would do to our lives. Let's watch this.
Jennifer Piggott voted for Trump in the November election. Then in February, she was fired from her civil service job.
Absolutely. I feel a little bit betrayed.
She was among more than 125 people dismissed last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
There's always that back and forth conversation now. It's like, you knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives.
They thought it was going to happen to somebody else. It was going to affect somebody else. Then it's okay.
No kings, no tyrants, no kings, no tyrants.
The cuts have shaken up a community that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. He won West Virginia with 70% of the vote, one of his biggest victories. But the betrayal felt by Piggott, a church-going conservative and 3-time Trump voter, comes as political analysts are examining early signs of a possible backlash in
All right, so there's still 2 more minutes to play of this, but the reason why you're seeing so many people protesting in districts, especially red districts, saying save federal workers, is for a few reasons. Number one, they voted for government efficiency, but not like this. It is becoming clear, more and more clear by the day, that Elon Musk and Donald Trump are firing workers in a completely indiscriminate way. They're not going through with a fine-tooth comb and trying to see surgically who needs to be fired to reduce fraud here. Why don't we take it to the proper channel here because there's a little bit of waste here. They are going through and firing tens of thousands of civil servants, of people who've been working for the federal government for years, serving their country for years, and are now just randomly getting fired. And the thing is, this isn't even the same story as the one we covered the other day. On the front page of the Washington Post, there was another young mother. It said, she hoped Trump's victory would change her life, but not like this. Riley Cooper is normally more focused on motherhood than politics. Then came Doge. She lost her job with the U.S. Forest Service after voting for Trump, and after Trump and Elon decided, this is basically wasteful. Anything with climate in it, anything with the word diversity in it is entirely wasteful. But let's go back to this clip.
Republican strongholds like Parkersburg, where the government slashing efforts of Trump and Doge are beginning to hit home.
Elon Musk has basically taken over our government and has calling the shots, unfortunately, it seems to be.
Yeah.
A handful of Republican voters who lost their federal jobs joined Democrats at a recent anti-Doge protest near the Bureau of Fiscal Service offices in Parkersburg. But the federal job losses in the state could soon extend beyond the BFS building, says West Virginia University economics professor John Deskins.
West Virginia is at the very top of the states in terms of the federal workforce as a share of total workforce in the state. So if the federal layoffs happen, if they hit West Virginia, we stand to suffer a disproportionate share when those jobs disappear, when that income disappears, when that spending leaves the state economy.
I mean, yeah, well said from the economics professor. Of course, he says it well. But it reminds me of this article I was just reading. Trump supporters who were fired from their government jobs are having some serious voters' remorse. A lot of them aren't holding back. Over 62,000 federal workers across February have reportedly been fired by the Trump admin's Doge, led by Elon Musk. Keep in mind, Musk is rather insulated from the consequences of his actions. He's the richest dude on earth. He doesn't care if somebody gets fired, but these veterans who have spent their entire lives working towards one position, they care. It says, these firings have included federal employees working in the Defense Department, USAID, CIA, Social Security Administration, Department of Justice, Department of Agriculture, and many others. I mean, read this post. Quote, I am a veteran of the Iraq War. After retiring from military service, I worked at the VA, where I put in a lot of hard work and built strong relationships with my colleagues. However, last week I was told by personnel management that I was being fired. I was completely shocked as I had done nothing wrong. I had supported Trump in the past, but after he took office, I began to notice that some of his policies seemed to target individuals like me, supporters who found themselves laid off. Now I'm in a difficult position. I have 2 children to support, and I don't even know how to explain this to my wife. It feels unjust, and I'm unsure where to turn next. I mean, yeah, unjust is a solid way to summarize the entire Trump and MAGA philosophy. It doesn't matter if it's just or not, as long as some people are getting hurt. But let's continue watching this.
Reuters interviews with 36 workers, business owners, and politicians in Parkersburg. Nearly all said that Trump's focus on cutting government spending was a worthy goal. And Reuters Ipsos polling shows Americans' attitude toward Trump are so far essentially unchanged since he began firing federal workers in February. As of this week, his approval rating was holding steady at 44%.
Cutting costs and waste and fraud and. We love that big picture. I love that big picture. My friends, we were excited about that because it is true. But again, I can't help but go back to the fact that what is the decisions that you're making right now solving in the big picture? It just so the concept of voting for that again, voting for Elon Musk essentially to wreck people's lives, I can't do it.
The economic impact of the mass dismissals across America may not be immediately felt. So far, 100,000 government workers have been fired or taken a buyout. Parkersburg is bracing for another round of layoffs, with all government agencies ordered to make plans to cut career staff by March 13th.
I love seeing the protesters with the signs that say Muskrat, get out of here, Muskrat. But I mean, this Trump voter actually says exactly what I said earlier. And I know that it's fun to laugh at her, but I mean, she's actually right. She said, my friends and I thought government efficiency sounded great. They're saving our tax dollars. That sounds amazing. And just for somebody who's not really involved in politics, or for somebody who doesn't pay attention to politics that much, it probably sounds like a great promise. I can't tell you how many times I've heard friends in college say, I don't really know much about politics. I just wish I knew where my taxpayer dollars were going to. So it sounds good on the surface, but once you see how they're executing it, 1 billionaire and 5 Doge teens unilaterally firing swaths of workers who have spent their lives trying to make our country better. 1 dude, the richest man on the planet, bringing a bunch of hacker teens in to get into her personal data and say this person isn't worthy. I mean, they probably don't even care about the people on an individual level. They don't care about merit or how hard you've worked or if you're a veteran. They're just trying to go as quickly as possible and cut fat off the top, as they say. So when she voted for people to cut fraud, waste, and abuse, she didn't realize that she was the fraud, waste, and abuse in their eyes. And that's the sad part. That's the part that we need to highlight, is that they're not doing it in a responsible way. Democrats, what Democrats need to do is put forward a counter platform on how to make the government more efficient in a more responsible way. I think a lot of times Democrats get caught up trying to fire back at Trump and bite on everything that him and Elon Musk do. Why don't we put forward a counter proposal like, hey, over the next 5 to 10 years, we will make the government this much more efficient by going through X amount of departments and doing an audit through the proper channels that will end up reaping benefits for the next 5 years, rather than Elon Musk's 6-month slash and burn. How much can we dismantle the government over the course of 6 months? It's all just wild what Elon Musk is trying to do. That's why Democrats need to provide an alternate vision. Now, I can work on that in my free time. I don't have one off the top of my head right now, but there has to be an alternate vision, or else we're just fighting against Elon Musk. I'll leave it at that. Drop a like, subscribe, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.